Simon, just firstly, how nice is it to be going into this game off the back of a positive display at Barrow?
Yeah, certainly the win gave us all a lift. It was much needed, and coming back on the coach felt altogether different. Weight off our shoulders. Obviously, it's the start. And we need to keep recovering our position in the league and climbing it. Um, but it was a good start, and against tricky opposition, it was a test of our mentality. So this week's been a different place.
What are the elements of that performance that you're going to need for this one against Leeds?
Well, resilience, fight, all the character that we showed on the day, we'll have to show in abundance. At Ellen Road, it's a different proposition, playing in front of 37,000. Not when we're not familiar with that in League Two or in the history of Harrogate Town, but it makes it an extra special occasion. And I'm sure the lads won't need a warm up. I'm sure there'll be lots of adrenaline running through the veins of every single one of us, and it's certainly a challenge, but an occasion to make sure it's a memorable one.
Have you had more of a chance to enjoy the build-up in the week to this Leeds game because you had such a positive result against Barrow?
Yeah, actually, that went through my mind in the last few minutes of the game at Barrow. You want to seal the deal there, get 3 points in the bag, feel better about ourselves. So I think we've all earned through hard work the right to enjoy the build-up to this game.
We stand here on a very cold day. What have you been able to do training-wise ahead of this one? Because looking around, the pitches don't look in great condition.
Very little in terms of football this week. We're arriving at Thursday before going to Ellen Road, such a magnificent occasion, and we yet to see a football. The pitches that we use are rock hard. The places and facilities we've run are all blocked out with bookings. And so it's not made the task any easier, but we're hoping this sun will lift the frost on the 3G behind you, and we'll be able to do some work today and tomorrow.
With the group of players, though, I imagine you're not going to need to do much in terms of motivation with you ahead of a game like this.
Well, no, not at all. I mean, you'd like to think professional footballers certainly will be up for every game, but walking out in front of 37,000 needs no motivation at all, and so it's a chance to rise as a man to the occasion, take it all in, and learn from it, but make sure that we acquit ourselves with plenty of pride, total honesty and energy.
As you mentioned, a lot of these players will probably never had this experience before of playing at a place like Ellen Row with 37,000 fans. How are they feeling in the build-up to this?
I think there's obviously going to be some nerves, but you'd like to think they interpret that as excitement, and take it in the stride and settle early in the game. And we know that we're playing against a top championship club and full of Premier League players, potential Premier League players as well. And it's going to be a massive challenge, but we've got to dig in, and we've got to dig in for the whole game. And we might not see much of the ball at times, but that's fine, because championship clubs right now are struggling against Leeds. So, we'll have to show plenty of resilience.
It's one of those, I imagine, you don't want to be going there just to make up the numbers. How do you strike that balance with the players in terms of mentally how to approach it, possibly getting a cup upset, but also at the same time knowing that, as you say, you're not going to see much of the ball? What's the best approach, do you think?
Well, if I went in there with giddy expectations of dominating a game at Ellen Road, I think I'd be laughed out of town by the players. I've got to try and earn the credibility of the players by preparing them, and making them all too aware of their strengths and their patterns of play, basically. And so we can go through that process together as a team. Josh Falkingham has been heavily involved in that because he's certainly given him a purpose the last couple of weeks to really delve into the patterns of play for Leeds and the personnel, and their regular patterns. We know what they do. It's just stopping them that's difficult for championship clubs right now. But breaking it down, and then we'll take that mindset, try and take a steady mindset into the game of how to try and stop them, but also just looking at our possibilities on the ball when we have it.
Yeah, you mentioned Josh there. Obviously, I'm sure this is a game he'd love to be playing in with his connections to Leeds. How much do you feel for him, I suppose, in that sense?
Yeah, it was an emotional time for him when he came off injured, because that without a doubt was one of his main objectives, to play in this game, to feature in this game, and to wear the shirt with pride. You know, he's had a good history with Leeds. When I bump into anyone connected with Leeds, they always ask about Falks, because of his character. He's well known in football, especially between our two clubs. And so it was a big blow to him as a man, and it was a very emotional time when he was ruled out after the scan and the operation. But that's why we wanted him involved now. And as I say, he's said already, he's heavily involved with our preparation.
For you as manager, you've been in charge of some big moments this football club. We think of the playoff final at Wembley, the FA Trophy final as well. But where does this rank for you away at Leeds United?
Yeah, it's the icing on the cake moments like this. You know, the coach journey, walking into the change rooms, walking out the tunnel, the kick-off time. It's superb, and it's so far removed from where we were. And so that it gives me enormous pride seeing that progression. And you need a leg up in life sometimes, you know, because it's a massive grind for 99% of the time.
Away from home as well, you're going to be backed by a large travelling support. How's that going to feel for you as well, seeing all those fans at Elland Road?
Yeah, it'll be lovely. You know, they're the heartbeat of any football club, is the fan base, and you know, obviously we want to keep growing it, and we want credibility and respect from our supporters after the game on Saturday. But to actually get positive, you know, reinforcement from the stands means the world to me and the players. And you know, it'd be great to look up at yellow and black and not just yellow and white.
Well, let's just look at the team news ahead of this one then. How's everybody looking?
Matthew Foles has been ruled out for another month, which is, you know, come from nowhere really, just from a bit of tightening up and his joint in his groin. So that rules him out, another one. But other than that, there's no new injuries ahead of the weekend, so it's just still the 7 out.
In terms of some of those that are out, Ellis Taylor and Liam Gibson, how are they getting on in particular?
Yeah, Ellis has been wanting to train this week. Obviously, that task has been made harder by the weather, but hopefully he'll have a little blowout today and tomorrow, and he'll have some involvement in the squad, we hope.
And just on Matty Foles being out, does that mean you have to look back in the transfer market particularly?
Yeah, we will be doing. You know, we're certainly looking at different areas of the pitch, not least up front, just to boost the team's chances of doing well in the second half of the season. And yeah, not an hour goes past in the day without looking and making calls. And between the three of us, you know, we're working hard on being a better, stronger squad.
Brilliant stuff, Simon. Thank you.